What's cracking, investors? This is a little bit of a different setup. Before I go into the screener, I want to ask you to hold on until later in the video. I have a very important question for you because I want to know I'm going to be doing a kind of a new thing, and I need your opinion as to what format I should be choosing. Now let's go into the filter real quick, or the screener rather. So Robinhood came out with a screener. You can find it by your watch lists on the website and on the app as well. Just scroll down to the watch list, you'll see it there. Click on it, and we're gonna create one together. So I've zoomed out the screen a little bit so you can see everything. Very self-explanatory. At first, you're gonna click create new screen, and then you're gonna pick something that's important for you, something that you look for. So for example, since I do options, I'm gonna pick highest implied volatility. It's gonna name the screener. It's gonna save it like that for me, so I don't have to rename it. And then you can add a bunch of things onto it. Okay, first it's going to list all the stocks based on IV, right? Highest implied volatility here, and then a bunch of other stats that you can then kind of edit. So the market cap, volume, and 1 day change plus price is what's listed. But you can click this button here, and you can kind of click other things that you'd like to see. So 1 month change percentage, or what sector is in, how many shares outstanding, what kind of analyst rating it's getting, the dividend yield, search by PE ratio. So I can actually just click on PE ratio here, okay, and I can edit it. So price to earnings ratio, and I can do a custom range. So let's see if I go from, let's say, 2 to 14, right? I can save my screener, use screener name, high vol plus PE, and it'll give me a bunch of results. Currently, it's malfunctioning, so there you go. It should have listed oh, there you go, guys. Nice and clean Robinhood. Start. If I edit the filters, clear all. Well, it's malfunctioning, so I'm just gonna delete this and start all over again. Maybe choose a different one. So create new screener. How about upcoming earnings? I want to see what companies' earnings are coming in, and I'm going to, maybe I want to make a play on it with options or sell or buy or whatever, or I want to make sure that I hedge the earnings, etc. So it gives me dates. You can actually edit how far in advance you want those dates to list. And apologize for this weird camera view. I'm still trying to figure out the setup for what I'm going to be talking about a little bit later. And but anyways, back on topic here. So you can actually edit how far in advance you want the earnings to be on this watch list, and then you can add other things. So let's see if this time it will actually not bug out. So how about we add, instead of price to earnings, we add highest options volume. Okay, so we're gonna save that screener. Okay, options. So for my options plays, let's say I want to do, okay, what's giving me a lot of volume and what is actually giving me, okay, and it's bugging out again. So I can click on the stock, but it's actually not giving me, it's supposed to give me all this other information here on the right, and it's just not doing it. If it's not working for anyone else, let me know. You can collapse and expand it over here. Let's see, agriculture. There's only one company coming up earnings under agriculture. And you can add it to your watch list on the right. But basically, that's how it works. And it's very interesting that it's malfunctioning already. Like, I tried it on the phone, and it works perfectly. In fact, I'm really happy with it on the phone. you can glide with your finger very easily, and it's kind of almost a pleasurable experience, browsing through the phone screener. But on the website, it's malfunctioning. So there you go. What I can do now is I'll give you a little bit of actually a brief overview of what's been happening with the account. So I'm sitting at 140 right now, and I've exited on many of my positions. In fact, I'm sitting at $50,000, over $50,000 of cash on the balance on the account here, collecting that sweet 4.65% rate from Robinhood Gold, probably the market leading cash yielding money market cash sweep percentage out of any brokerage that I know. I've already collected $14, and I just got up to 50,000. So I'm probably going to be collecting quite a bit more over the next week and month if I stay in the cash. So that's great. I only have 2 stock positions right now. Realty Income and Main Street Capital. I got rid of all my Apple. I sold it about $177.50 per share through options, right? I sold a call, and after the earnings, before the earnings, it ran up and surpassed my call even before the announcements. So that Apple made about their new product launches. I had sold the call options like a couple weeks before. So my actual sell price, including the options premium, is a little bit higher. So maybe like, I don't know, 178.5, but which is what it's hovering at right now, 178.90. I might get back in, but I'm probably gonna wait a month because I want to book those as long-term gains. So it's, for those of you who don't know, like a lot of the long-term gains actually you don't get taxed on. The first maybe 44,000 it used to be. I don't know how much money exactly now gets tax exempt from long-term gains. So I wanted to lock those gains, and then I'll re-enter Apple whenever it drops. And if it doesn't drop, I'll probably just miss out and keep the money in cash for now until I decide what to do with it. Maybe do some options plays. So that's what's going on with the account. If you want to see how it's been doing over the last few months or year to date, this is the chart year to date. I had a stumble here with the Nvidia play. I decided to be clever, and I lost like $6,000, $7,000, something like that from the Nvidia highest like market cap gain in history. I did not anticipate that, but I should have, because the one time I tried to play Nvidia, of course it happens. Which, I broke one of my rules, kind of, which is make sure you know what you're trading. And I chose a company that I don't know well at all. And I'm like, that can't happen. Nothing is going to gain 200 billion market cap in a day, in an hour. And it did. So I made a couple videos about that. I'm not going to spend much time talking about it. But in general, I've recouped a little bit of that money through selling some options, selling Apple higher, etc. And now I'm sitting on, $50,000 of cash. If you want to see the breakdown of the account, we can do that. Account, investing, and here it is. So brokerage cash, 55. Then we got stocks and options. The reason it's 55 here is because I have some options running. I have puts on Robinhood, actually, markets, because I like that they keep innovating and they're introducing the screener now. They're trying to keep people on the app, and the more people are on the app, the more they'll trade, they'll get trading revenue, etc. And I also like the initiative that Robinhood's made on the retirement accounts. It's going to be, keeping AUM into their company, and that cash is monetizable some form, at some point. Right now it's a liability because it costs them $1 for every, $100 that goes into the retirement account through promotions. But at some point, that money that's in there probably going to turn into profitable, AUM of some sort. So anyways, moving on. Only 2 positions, nothing much to see here. Okay, Main Street Capital is a little bit more than Realty Income. Currently, it's yielding me, I think, over $400 of dividends a month, plus maybe another like $200 from the cash. So that's about $600 a month, which I'm still deciding what to do with it. For right now, I'm just going to re-roll it in, auto reinvest DRIP. direct reinvestment plan. So that is the account. And now I want to talk about, or I'm going to ask a question here. So what I've been thinking about, the reason I have this setup happening here, and I even pulled out my pop filter. For those of you who don't know, this circle thing right here is called a pop filter, because I'm thinking about doing kind of like a podcast style episodic series on YouTube. And I'm thinking of calling it Market Philosophy, sharing some things that I've learned as an individual investor over the years, maybe like, for the last 15 years or more that I've been investing. And so the question I have is, would you think it's better? Like, what would you rather listen to? Would you rather listen to, a pre-written, I'm a pretty decent writer, okay? I've written like 3 books. I'm a decent writer. I'm not great. I'm probably, an average when it comes to writers, but I'm not just a complete noob. So I'm thinking of maybe just writing it out and then reading it through a podcast, so I can then even put it like a little bit of a booklet or something. Put all the podcast series together. So for those of the people that want to read it in the form of a book, and also it'd be very easy to make an audiobook out of it as well, right? So it gives me a lot of options if I write it down, because it'll be a podcast, it will be a YouTube video, it will be a book, and it will be an audiobook all in one. So it's very efficient. It will take a lot more work, obviously. I'll have to pre-plan what I'm going to be talking about. Everything has to be, very organized, but it'll also be a little bit dry, right? Because it's going to be kind of like listening to an audiobook. Whereas I personally like doing off-the-cuff stuff more. I like saying the ums and I like saying the ands. I like stumbling for words. It makes things more organic and it makes it more enjoyable. That's the kind of content that I personally like to consume. And it gives me options. The options being like having guests on here. Like I can actually talk to some guests. I can pull in someone from other channels or some interesting individuals or people or friends. I have really interesting friends or just individuals that I've met in everyday life that I can learn a lot from, and perhaps whoever's listening on the other side of this mic can also learn. I like to take lessons wherever I can and try to improve myself, so I can't imagine that everybody else is that much different than the way I operate. So it gives me a little bit more flexibility, but that means that, no booklets, no audiobook, and the podcast is not going to be as episodic. It's going to be kind of like a series. So I don't know if I can make it about lessons learned. It's going to be probably more like what kind of good questions I can ask from people that come in. And whenever it's just me solo, I'll probably talk about like either current events or what's happened, or try to make it some more timeless and discuss like specific topics within market history, or like the invention of specific strategies and how did that come about, their success ratios and things like that, big events in market history, or like, for example, where specific terms come from, why are they important, like who came up with it, and how much success is brought. So things like that. So let me know in the comments, like if you listened to this all the way through, let me know in the comments what style of video or audio or both you would like me to produce, because I'm thinking of taking this a little bit more seriously, because I'm starting to enjoy it as time goes on, and these episodes have been fun to do, but it's more for me, right? The episode's been more like self-journal kind of thing, because I'm not very good about writing down my thoughts per se. I like writing down, stories, or putting things together in form, just to create a specific piece of like art or information, like a puzzle. But I don't like writing my thoughts down. So I started a series to kind of keep track of my mental state in different market turns, market events, and I just decided to put it out there on the internet in order to keep myself honest with what's going on. because once it's public, like I can't lie to myself, if it's public, because then I'd be lying to other people as well. And I did not want to do that. So it's a way for me to keep myself honest. But now, like, I'm actually starting to, enjoy it a little bit. And I want to move forward. I want to keep improving with doing whatever I'm doing. So if you please leave me a comment and let me know, like, what you would be interested in. I have some pretty cool art, actually. I want to show you what I've been working on. Okay, so check this out. So this is what I put together for the podcast. You like that? I've just removed myself. So this is what I've been working on here. It's got a picture of me, and then a small one here, and then Market Philosophy episode 1. I don't know. And here's some other ones that kind of go off the previous vibe, which doesn't probably look as good, but it looks good on this off screen. Like if I put it over here, it works with the I can project it better. Okay, I can project it better on the screen back there, if you can see that. I can do full screen, but let's see if I can try to find it. Pictures. All right. There you go. So, it could look something like that. Obviously, the camera is not going to be from this angle because it doesn't really work that well. But I'll figure out where I can put it. And, something like this. But the other piece of art I like better, and I may not put it on the off monitor. I may just use it as a thumbnail, but we'll see. So anyways, I would appreciate, your comment on what type of content you like. So please leave a comment below. And also, I've been sick, and so that's why I haven't updated in a long time now. So this is my first video in a while, and I appreciate, whoever's watching and following and wants to see what the account's been up to, etc. And I'm also interested in what you guys are doing right now, because I'm sitting in cash apparently, waiting for the market to drop. I'm kind of bearish. So let me know what your stance is and outlook on the market, as well as the recommendations for content. All right, with that said, I'm going to end right there. Peace out.